Breaking. IDF exposed. A secret network capable of leaking insider information of troops and their most vital intel before heading into Gaza. We have now seen the second Israeli airstrike in 2 days that completely pummels Gaza refugee camp, deepening a growing outcry from the decimated region. And the latest from the U.S. and the Biden administration that you're definitely going to want to hear and see, as brief cessations of military operations would allow food, water, other aid to reach Gaza, and the latest on hostage releases. Important news and all the latest information that matters to you most right here, and conveniently compiled and organized in a playlist so that you never have to miss any of the latest breaking developments to help you stay in the know, well-informed, and the earliest to be prepared. Biden's call for a pause in Israel's war in Gaza is the first time the current administration, or really anyone in political power for that matter, has attempted to pursue the route of peace opposed to fighting, conflict, and all-out world war. And the U.S. leader's remarks mark a subtle shift in position, as Washington previously rejected, quote-unquote, drawing red lines for Israel. And I'm waiting to find out the latest on one brave family from Massachusetts trapped in Gaza, and I hear they may get to leave today. U.S. President Joe Biden has now begun advocating for a halt in the ongoing conflict. During a campaign speech in Minneapolis, a protester called for a ceasefire, to which he responded, "I believe we need a pause," emphasizing that the Biden administration and a temporary ceasefire would facilitate the release of hostages. So far, as of right now, we are not entirely sure of the exact number of American citizens that left Gaza yesterday, marking the first group to depart since the outbreak of the war. But another 400 individuals are scheduled to leave today. Among those set to depart are the O'Cals, a family from suburban Massachusetts who were visiting relatives in Gaza when the conflict erupted. So sad. And the BBC reported that Aboud Okal, Wafa Abuzada, and their 1-year-old son, Yusuf, have been living in precarious and perilous conditions ever since. Meanwhile, for all viewers north of the border, neither on Wednesday, yesterday, nor Thursday, today, no Canadians were included in the departure list as far as I can tell. And the Canadian Foreign Minister, Melanie Joly, disclosed that around 400 Canadian citizens, primarily dual nationals, are currently trapped in Gaza at this time. And I just hope and pray that these innocent people are able to flee to safety and be reunited with their families really, really soon. Because I know that this is not the news that anybody wants to hear. Of war and global conflict and potentially the warning signs and initial actions, all leading up to what will ultimately end up being what brings us all one step closer to World War III. And that there are potential terrorist attacks that could take place here in the U.S., maybe possibly even in Canada too. But if you appreciate the updates, and I believe that knowledge truly is power, and you appreciate knowing what's happening, do me a quick favor. Give this video a like by clicking the like button. Thank you so much for doing that. It only takes a second. And if you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not just hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. I'm working to bring you all the latest to let you know everything that's going on in our world right now. And also, if you want to support this channel, I've added a join button, and all these articles, videos, and information will pop up in your YouTube feed when you hit join. Now, with that being said, you will see in the description that I am including links that will take you directly to video footage so that you can see it all for yourself. The latest news and recent developments before the official commencement of being led into the official start of World War III behind the leadership of President Joe Biden. So moments ago, the Israeli bombings of Gaza that first started on October 7, following attacks that resulted in 1,400 casualties and the taking of 239 hostages, and the health ministry in Gaza, under the control of the opposing side, has reported more than 9,000 fatalities since Israel initiated its retaliatory airstrikes, which during President Biden's speech yesterday, Joseph stated that a pause would provide an opportunity to release both hostages held by their captors and to facilitate the delivery of humanitarian aid. The United Nations has urged a ceasefire to alleviate the dire humanitarian situation in Gaza, where an estimated 1.4 million people have been displaced. However, the United Kingdom, United States, Canada, and the European Union have refrained from explicitly calling for a ceasefire, citing concerns that it might favor the opposing faction, which has been designated as a terrorist organization by the U.S. and several Western governments. New House Representatives Speaker and prominent Republican in the U.S. government, Mike Johnson, staunchly rejected the notion of a ceasefire when speaking to reporters today. And for clarification, I do try my best to provide as much information, clarity, and description as possible for any newcomers or potentially viewers from other countries who may not be as familiar with our political leaders and elected officials as some of the longtime subscribers of my channel are. So, please forgive me. I am not trying to be rude, but I also want to make sure I deliver these updates to you in as timely a fashion as possible. So with your permission, I would like to proceed with this format, and I appreciate and thank you all for your support and consideration. Additionally, please use the comment section for open discussion and debate. We are all in this fight together. All I ask is that we all behave accordingly and with respect for others. Thank you. All right, so House Speaker Johnson argued that Israel doesn't require a ceasefire, but rather requires its allies to cease political maneuvers and provide immediate support. Johnson announced that the House would vote later on today, I believe, on another stimulus package to the tune of some $14.3 billion worth of U.S. provided aid for Israel. And to my surprise, Democrats have expressed opposition to the bill, but more than likely it's because it contains substantial cuts in funding for the IRS, and there are talks that they are expected to block it in the Senate. Furthermore, President Biden has declared that he will veto the legislation if the version that reaches his desk includes reductions in funding for the tax collection agency, the Internal Revenue Service. And today marks the second Israeli airstrike in 2 days. And I must warn you, as you watch this footage, there are graphic images and scenes of the events that are currently unfolding. Again, links provided below in the description. Breaking just minutes ago, Israel bombed the densely populated Jabalia refugee camp in northern Gaza for the second time in 2 days, prompting warnings of war crimes as more nations took diplomatic measures and condemned Israel's offensive in the besieged enclave. Israeli airstrikes also hit the vicinity of the Al-Quds hospital in Gaza City, where doctors say up to 14,000 displaced people are sheltering. The strikes that began on Wednesday evening and continued into Thursday morning, and they were getting closer to the hospital as time passed. This story is developing and is being updated as we speak, so be sure to check back on my next video for further information. And the latest out of the Times of Israel, using stolen pictures of girls, operatives from Axis of Resistance, under pretense of romantic relationships over social media, attempt to trick soldiers into giving up top secret information. Here, take a look. Several fake Instagram profiles the IDF says were used in attempts to obtain information from soldiers for the Hamas terror group have surfaced. And on Thursday, the military announced that they had thwarted a network of Hamas supporters who used fake social media profiles to gather information from Israel Defense Forces soldiers. This operation seemed to aim at obtaining details about which units would be deployed to the Gaza Strip and when. The network primarily utilized Instagram and featured photos of real women as part of a catfishing scheme. These fake accounts engaged with soldiers, cultivating what appeared to be romantic relationships through messaging, voice recordings, and video calls, all with the intention of gathering information on behalf of Hamas. The network involved numerous fictitious social media profiles, potentially targeting hundreds of thousands of soldiers, including reservists. In this deceptive scheme, the operatives initially aimed to establish trust with soldiers and then redirected the conversation towards their military activities, soliciting photos, videos, and written details to ascertain their location and military unit. And all of this information was based on screenshots provided by the military. Here, take a look for yourself so that you can see. The IDF revealed that the fabricated social media profiles were accompanied by additional fake profiles impersonating relatives and friends, all designed to enhance their credibility. And no word yet on when or if the IDF and Israeli authorities will be able to cooperate with social media platforms to disable these accounts. And as part of their tactics, one operative shared a video in Hebrew with the message, "No words," apparently expressing disbelief about the current situation. In another instance, an operative named Ava Hafer complimented a soldier's choice of headwear, a beret, to which the soldier replied with his information. Given the opening, the operative then asked for the name of the soldier's base and inquired, "When are you entering into Gaza?" So folks, all I can say is that these are some really trying times right now, and you can just never be too careful. Now, as more information comes out on all of this and more, I'll be sure to share with you here on the channel, especially as a lot of people are saying we are edging closer and closer to World War III with the conflicts going on in the Middle East and what we are seeing happening right here on U.S. soil. Now, in addition to that, I'll also share with you some updates of attacks happening on U.S. campuses and protests taking place around the United States. And we're hearing that things are intensifying. It's likely only going to get worse. Additionally, I'm looking to schedule an upcoming live stream so that we can discuss these latest events and breaking news in real time together. So please let me know by typing a 1 in the comments if weekday mornings Eastern time would work best for you, a 2 to choose weekday afternoons Eastern time, or a 3 for weekday evenings Eastern. And if any time works, then just type a 4. Type 4. Yeah, just type 4. That should work. So much absolutely incredibly shocking footage is constantly flowing in, and I'm working quickly to compile and format it all so that I can deliver it to you in the most professional package possible. So thank you for your patience. And thank you for the huge support on the last video, and welcome all new subscribers to the channel. I look forward to getting a chance to interact with you more in the comments and engage on upcoming live streams. And if you guys missed it, be sure to check it out right here next. And like I said, as more information comes out on this, I'll be sure to keep you up to date so that way you know exactly what's taking place. And with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me yet again. I'll catch you on the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Kevin.